Get ready.
I'd love to learn a little bit more about
American Dave. That was one. I was just like, that was a good one, actually.
Yeah, that hurts when you like really thought it was a good piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to learn a little bit more about like your journey into DJing.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. So I think like a lot of people out there, like you get started like 3-4 years into DJing, like in your bedroom and occasionally playing a gig. But after 3 or 4 years of doing that, for myself, I was like, all right, I want to make music now. I want to I think I could try to make a beat similar to this song that I really love. So let's give it a shot. And like 6 years later, it takes a long time. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of YouTube tutorials and a lot of sometimes courses and whatnot. But so it's a hell of a journey. And I came up with this surname in the alias in like 2014. Like a while ago, and then got onto a few compilations back in 2015. Main Course Records put out some songs of mine. Got connected with a lot of people that I am happy to call my friends today, like still very good friends. I was just texting them that I just did this today, and I even played one of their songs just now, and it's a full circle moment, it feels like.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you say it's a journey, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. Maybe you could tell us some of the lows.
I could tell. I can get started with the low. No doubt. So I was I got into this groove in throughout my early 20s, just Monday through Friday, just working in an office, just typical. I was working in like telecom, actually in Quincy.
You sound very passionate about it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, telecom. It's a bit of a dated industry, but while I was working there during my stint, it was just by Quincy where we are right now, actually, funny enough. But I get a text in the middle of the workday. This was like 2019. I get a text just being like, "Yo, our apartment just got robbed." And I was just like, "All right, like, how bad is it?" Like, this was during like a lunch break, and my boss didn't let me go home like in the middle of the day. He just didn't let me go. He's just like, "No, I really need you for this call like this afternoon." I was like, "I can't believe this is happening." So I get home after a long day of work. It ransacked. There's like shit everywhere, all over the apartment. Just objects like strewn across, like thrown, like shattered glass and everything.
What did he leave?
Didn't leave anything. He took like even stuff that I didn't really like care about. Like he must have thought like glasses like these or whatever, or like really, because he took all of my like cheap $5 sunglasses that I get off Amazon. Shout out Basic. And and then what else? It was crazy. He took the external hard drives, my backup hard drives, my laptop, everything. I had a half.
So he went personal with it.
It was
not even the financially valuable stuff.
It was wild. Yeah,
just the stuff that really.
I was like, oh, those sunglasses weren't even worth that much, and I like those glasses. I never found another pair because they were discontinued. But I still think about it once in a while. Like, oh, those glasses were nice, weren't they? I still had a few of those songs on the laptop. They were still on the phone. That I had there. I extracted those songs off my phone, put it onto the laptop. I sent it to a person I knew in Philadelphia because I was remixing some of his songs as he was mastering it and mixing it and whatnot. His roommate, shout out Jesse, aka Rich Fellow, he overheard it and popped his head in and asked if I can email them that song. And the song was Tyson, and that song currently rests at about as of like 2 weeks ago, it hit like 1 million streams on Spotify. So I can't believe how that happened, how that came about. You hear a lot of stories about like people who worked really, really hard and whatnot, but sometimes it's just a matter of like luck, opportunity, timing, and whatnot. And sometimes it can really, really get you out there. And finally, people who weren't my friends and family started listening to my music after that. So
when you know you made it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the hardest step, in my opinion, when you're making music. That's the hardest hurdle to get over is how do you get other people outside of your friends and your family, your mom and dad, to listen to your stuff. I would just have to say that's a lot of just emailing like record labels and also expecting not to hear back from any of them. Just get to the point of like emailing so many record labels and publishers and whatnot, to the point where you forgot you sent that email, to the point where someone actually responds to you and you're like, oh, I forgot. Oh, okay, cool. I forgot I sent this email, but that's awesome. Like, that's great. And yeah, like stuff like that always happened. And I continue to do that. Like philosophy, I send emails, like just this morning before I came out here, I sent a couple out to a few record labels I like, some songs I played up there.
That's awesome. That's a great accomplishment. Spotify must have gave you at least $20, $30 for those million streams. So
yeah, exactly. And the one
the presence of a rich man.
Exactly. Yeah, I could afford like, oh my goodness, what can you get with $250? You can get the Ableton 12 upgrade for like $200, so you still have $50 left after that.
All right.
You get like a steak dinner somewhere. I don't know.
Steak dinner in Ableton. That's what you get for a million streams.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like you're very passionate about what you do, the music you make. What spawned that passion for music?
Oh yeah, my first DJ show ever. 2010. House of Blues, Boston. It was Deadmau5 was doing like a 3-night run there, and I already knew what to expect with Deadmau5 and everything. So I was just like, all right, I know what to, like. I'm super excited for this, and I got there way early because I was like, oh, it starts at 8 p.m. I didn't know what they were openers. I didn't know that, so I was like sitting through all 3 of those openers. Yeah, those 3 DJs were amazing. Like the first one was DJ Volvox. She's like a tech house DJ that, you know, she's done like Berghain at this point, and she's gone around the world, and she's a really good techno and tech house DJ. The one that was after that played like funk records and like house music, and then the one after that played like more like electro style house and everything. And I was just like, what are all these genres? Like what is it? Like I didn't know what any of it was. And yeah, I just like I almost like by the time Deadmau5 came on, I was just like, my mind is already blown like by the openers. Honestly, that was just so much fun watching them do that. And after that, I came home and I started looking up like, all right, how do I get into DJing? Virtual DJ. All right, download that. And start like looking into, you know, DJ controllers and everything at that point. But yeah, good times.
Yeah, I mean, you spent, you know, a long time performing all over Boston, country, etc. What are some shows that mean a lot to you?
For sure, my favorite gig ever was definitely opening for Keys and Crates at Royale. That was like, at that point in time, I had like no gigs at all. I had no like prospects. And, you know, I just had a bunch of music out online. I was just like, oh, I got to play this out. I got to play it out somewhere. And as I was like DJing up there, I like couldn't believe it. I like, oh my God, everything's so much louder like up here, you know, than my bedroom. But yeah, looking out into the crowd though, I did notice like there's, you know, people who came by themselves, and I was just like, oh, that's where I was. Like that's literally who I was. Like when I was going to shows like alone all the time. Like I went to those Deadmau5 shows with my friends, and I started going to shows alone because I was interested. And I was just like, oh, I can see it in these kids too. Like they're like listening. I see you shazamming like the all this stuff. I'm like, that's a DJ. Like you can see him. I'm
always mad secretive when I have to Shazam something.
I'm always for real. I'm always just covering
it's
it.
It's like in the pocket. Yeah.
I'm always just like, oh, don't look at me. And then when it doesn't come up, you feel like an idiot. You're like, oh, it's unreleased. Oh, come on. But
and you always press the second time just to check.
I always do it like 3-4 times in case it's the Wi-Fi. Like I'm just like, maybe it was a Wi-Fi. No, it's just a edit or a bootleg or a remix that's not out yet. Just like, oh, all right, shucks. But yeah, getting off that stage though, you know, I did get a couple of them. I did get to talk to them. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, thanks for coming out and supporting. And they're like, oh, you were the guy that just DJ'd and everything. Like, nice. Like that. Thank you for like talking. Like, I'm kind of came here alone, and everything. So yeah, it was. I just hope to continue to inspire all those like loners who love music so much that they want to go by themselves to a party. They don't care if like there's nobody else there that they're gonna know or anything like that. They're just doing it because they love music and they cannot wait to hear whatever the headliner or maybe the opener is gonna put out. So it's that was definitely my favorite gig coming out of that one. I was just like, that was pure rejuvenation for me.
Sweet. And what you've told me about your music philosophy, the things that drive you in music. What about a life philosophy that you think kind of, you know, defines who you are and drives you outside of the music world?
So I think that's You know what's funny is that, when it comes to like life philosophy, I'm definitely a different person than when I was like 10 years ago, and I think I'm realizing I'm entering this phase in my life. I just hit 30, so entering a phase in my life where the goal completions are a lot more valuable than what's immediately around me. That is a huge deal. And a lot of people, you'll find out that like for the majority of the time, like not everybody's like, totally like, full up self-esteem, like happy these days. You talk to anyone, like mental health is, like it's more prevalent than ever these days, I feel like. So yeah, I mean, as you get older, your goals should definitely be met more quickly, in my opinion. And yeah, definitely tie your happiness towards your goal completion, and don't tie your happiness to what's immediately around you. Don't tie your goals to the amount of DJ gigs that you have coming up, or the fact that like maybe Spotify Wrapped, like, it was a little light this year. Like, don't let that down. Don't let that get you down. It's just like, all right, you have a goal now. Like, that's your goal. You've identified it. Like, go out there, try to complete it, and try to complete it fast. Honestly, don't put it off. That's a big thing that I'm a believer of, is like not putting things off. If you have an idea and you're not familiar with how to do it, like writing a book or making a new song or making videos or whatever it has to be, get started now. Figure out whether or not if you're even interested in doing it at all. If you're not interested in something, you can't possibly be good at it. That's what I always tell people. Don't do fake it till you make it, in my opinion. Yeah, that's another big one. Just do things that you're actually proud of. And if you spend more time doing that, you'll more likely become a happier person as you get older, I think. The fake it till you make it stuff, I feel like I've seen the other end of that, of like like someone who doesn't, like they faked it too hard almost, and now it's just like, all right, they're 37 and then all right, you're 37 and now like you don't really go to school or anything like that. Like you're just you're kind of banking on the DJ thing, where like, I don't know, like when I say stuff like that, it's not like a dig at anyone who
call them out.
No, it's not a dig at anyone who like literally tries to dedicate their life towards a thing, but then you dig into it and they're not interested in putting out something good. They're interested in becoming successful, and you're like, oh, that's different. That's completely different. Like, if you're gonna be successful, you kind of not. You don't go out looking for that, in my opinion. You go out looking for whatever makes you happy, and then people kind of latch on to that type of thing.
All right, so you talk a lot about, where you are, the goals you've completed, values you have. Looking back at everything you've learned, what would you tell your younger self before you started this journey?
Mix and master in mono before sending out your music. I would have just given myself so many production tips, but besides those, keep on trucking. No, I would say more than that. I would just.
This is a pretty unique opportunity to talk to your younger self.
I know. It's I'm talking to my looper. So if I had to talk to my looper about this, about the music stuff, I would say, you're gonna get disappointed. Like it's going to happen, and you're not disappointed yet, but you think it's fun and everything, but you'll get disappointed. Get ready. But that just makes your successes all that much sweeter. I mean, especially if you keep trying. You can't go wrong if you keep trying. I mean, that's what I would just have told him. And there was definitely a point at when I was like, just getting started making music, where it's just like, all right, if that doesn't, like, if nobody listens to me, then it's a failure. Well, it's like, no, I'm at this point now, like, you can actually make something that you're proud of, and it gets no streams, like, you're still proud of it, actually. I wish I could have told that to my 18-year-old self, honestly.
All right, yeah, so you say 2024, a new start for American Dave.
Yeah. I feel like it has to be a new start.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, so like during COVID and whatnot, all the clubs got shut down. That Royale gig that I did was happened January 31st of 2020. So like 2 months later, all those gigs that I had lined up as a result from the Royale gig got canceled. So I was just like, all right, this is a huge, a massive reset. at that point, I started a new alias. So I took a break from American Dave, started a new alias. I was making house music. Didn't really go anywhere, honestly, because otherwise you would have heard
American Dave.
Exactly. Right back to American Dave. Even my family was like, "You should go back to the other alias." I was just like, "Why do you care?" But because I'm like almost 30 at this point. But yeah, that was like wild. So I did do a reset. I did have to take a few years off from American Dave, just to like really get my sound, like my sound needed to get better, honestly. And during that time, I felt like I finally did get there, to a point where I can really make the speakers hit it just as hard as my favorite song, and everything like that. So going forward with that knowledge in mind, with that experience of starting over again and everything like that, and just instead of doing that, picking up where I left off, that's where I'm hoping to go. So yeah.
Anything else you're putting together now?
Yes,
you got upcoming.
Yes, so I am putting together, a bunch of songs together. Hopefully, it will come out to an EP, but we'll see. In the meantime, I just got that mix that I just recorded up there, so definitely listen back to those unreleased records for sure, because that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot more where that came from. If I had like 3 hours, I would have loved to just done a whole discography of just American Dave and plus songs from my friends. But just getting that sweet spot of that 20ish or so minutes, just to play those unreleased records and everything like that, show everybody like what I got, and everything. Like the majority of those songs are like unreleased, so I'm very happy to have had the platform and an opportunity to share all of that.
Tell the fans how you feel. How do you want to leave them?
Of course, fans out there, mom and dad. Sorry, I'll keep saying that. I'll keep making that joke until I'm done making music, I guess. All the American Dave fanboys out there. I know there's no girls that listen to me, but the fanboys out there, just definitely don't be a hermit. Get out there. Don't stay indoors. Do the thing that you think you should be doing. And if you feel like...
funny advice from someone who can't spend 5 minutes away from their laptop.
I know. Yeah. It's pretty awkward, right? Don't get anxiety like me, or separation anxiety from your laptop like me. And honestly, you'll be fine. Just do what you're interested in. Follow that, and you can't go wrong. That's it. But yeah, thank you.